Yip yip, what's going on, good people of Earth? My name is Adam,
And I'm Angie.
and you're listening to A Nation of Nerds. So this week's topic is going to be concerning sexuality and the various forms that it comes in within the geeky community. I just did air quotes. You guys can't see it though, but it's okay. So my fiance is here gonna run down a list of a few characters in the Marvel DC world or whatever world that you may not have either heard of or particularly known that they do not self-identify as heterosexual people. So, why don't you take it away?
Sure thing. So we have a few people here on this list that are very well known and others that are not. For example, there's someone called North Star, and he's a superhero. He's from Marvel, and he's first of all, he identifies himself as gay.
Okay.
And he was created by two people called, one of them is called Chris Claremont, and another one is called John Byron. His comics were published in Marvel, and he appeared in issue 414 in December 2012 for X-Men.
Uncanny X-Men, you mean?
Yeah, an Uncanny X-Men, exactly. Thank you. And he was actually the first superhero that openly came out as gay in American comic books. And also, he was the first superhero to marry someone in the comic book world, another man.
Okay.
A man that marries another man. And his husband's name is Kyle Jingwa. Sorry if I butchered the name. But North Star has a whole bunch of cool abilities. He's superhuman, he can fly, and he has phonetic energy blast, which means phonetic is basically the science of light, so he can manipulate the light for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really cool. Another superhero that I'm sure a whole bunch of people, villain that I know a lot of people know, is Harley Quinn, and she identifies as bisexual. Duh, she's obsessed with the Joker and whatnot, but she also has this thing with Poison Ivy, another villain, and this was revealed in Harley Quinn's issue number 15, a comic, and this is when the readers can see that the suspicion of her dating or having a relationship with Poison Ivy comes about. And everybody knows her abilities. She's trained. She's a trained psychiatrist. And she's a skilled gymnast, and she has immunity. Sorry. I'm really sick, guys, so if I sound funny, you guys know why. But she's immune to most toxins and diseases as well.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I just learned that. You know, I always found it like kind of weird how Harley Quinn was always like in the Suicide Squad, where it's like, really her? Like, you have an entire library of supervillains who are tactically prepared for a war, and then you just throw this psychiatrist clown in there who's just immune to toxins. When did she fucking start training? Like, I've never seen any training, any 80s training montages of Harley Quinn getting in shape and shit.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to read up on her comics. I don't really know her backstory other than she was a psychiatrist and her love interest was a Joker, but she's definitely badass in my opinion, and I think she makes a great asset in the Suicide Squad for sure. Another person or superhero in the comic book world who identifies as bisexual is John Constantine.
That one shocked me. I was like, what? Really? I had no idea. Wow.
For those of you who don't know who he is, he's a working class magician and an occult detective who has sex with both men and women. And
I will admit, I've never really read any of the Hellblazer
you saw the
comics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You saw the show?
I saw it up to
right
where it got canceled. So
wow.
I heard they were bringing that back. I don't know how true that is though. So
did you like it?
Take that with a grain of salt. To be honest with you, the first 3 to 4 episodes were captivating. After that, it just kind of fell apart for me. I was like, yeah, I'm not following this anymore.
Okay.
And then
it was canceled. For WC11, right?
No, I think it was on ABC, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe,
no, it can't have. No, it wasn't on ABC. It was, I think, on NBC.
It was probably really censored. That's why they had to like take out a lot of things because
Probably.
I was skimming through the comics and it looked really
It's graphic, yeah.
yeah.
You know where that show would honestly have survived?
Yes.
On Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or on HBO.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Or one of those
HBO,
platforms that allow crazy shit like that to happen without being so babyish.
Yeah, well, he comes out in the Hellblazer number 1, I believe, is the issue, and this is where the readers can see him flirting with another guy, a guy in a bar. It's a really funny scene.
Okay.
So yeah, John Constantine, bisexual. Another character his name is Iceman, and he identifies as gay, and he's from the Marvel Universe. He revealed that he was gay after a psychic, one of his team members was a psychic who can read minds. His name was John Gregg, and he read his mind. This is when he confronted him about his sexuality. This was in the X-Men issue number 40. And of course, the creator of Iceman is Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Okay. Iceman's abilities are that he's cold and he can and he has
putting it mildly.
He has ice manipulation as well. He made a cameo in Family Guy on the Iceman character.
Yeah, I remember that episode where it was like he steps into the house and his wife is like, "Where have you been?"
Yeah.
He's just out in the night or whatever. And then she says, "You want to explain that?" And there was like the trail of ice leading to the gay bar.
Oh,
Family Guy's a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, they're really funny. Another surprisingly, well, it was really surprising for me at least. Another superhero that identifies as gay or non-heterosexual is the Green Lantern. He comes out as gay in the comic called Earth 2, the DC Comics. Mm-hmm. And also, keep in mind that this is the very first Green Lantern, whose name is Alan Scott, so it's not the traditional
Hal Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that mean? Yeah. Thank you. And the creator for this character is Bill Finger and Martin Model. His abilities is flight, green light protective, longevity, mystical tracking, and much more, of course. So the Green Lantern, gay. Another character in the DC universe is Wildstorm. Wildstorm identifies as, I'm sorry, not Wildstorm, Midnighter. I don't know why I said Wildstorm. Midnighter identifies himself as gay, and his lover is Apollo. They're both part of this team called the Authority. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Authority is sort of like an umbrella for not umbrella, but like another type
under the DC sort of business company.
It's as how would you say, like Marvel is to the Avengers, like that?
To Disney. No, the Authority, is like what the Avengers is to the Marvel.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Okay, cool. So the Authority is this
but they sort of exist in this separate division within the DC comics. Yeah. I think it's important to make that distinction because you won't see, or maybe you will, but I doubt that you'll see any the Authority members clash with any of the Justice League members.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because it exists in a separate kind of publishing within the larger DC umbrella.
Oh, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
So Apollo and Midnighter have this relationship. They're both part of the Authority group, and so these guys were with a group of other people. Were part of a secret experiment, and of course, the experiment goes wrong, and then they get these abilities. This character was created by Warren and Byron Hitch. And his abilities, Midnighter's abilities, is that he possesses enhanced physical attributes. He's temporary pain suppression, enhanced reflexes. Oh, like Spider-Man, right?
Not the pain thing.
No, the enhanced.
But the enhanced, reflexes. Yeah.
Every time I think of that, I think about Spider-Man. Yeah. So yeah, Midnighter is gay and he has a relationship with Apollo. Because they spent 6 years, based on what I remember. I think I read a comic of that before. They spent like 6 years together in hiding because they ran away from this secret experiment, the people that were behind the secret experiment. So they spent like 6 years together. So I guess that developed into a love affair because of that. But I do not remember 100%. So if I'm wrong, then yeah.
I'm sure people will tell us in the comment section.
another another character from the DC comics is a transgender character called Lord Fanny. And
that right off the back, I'm sorry, but that kind of sounds like a slander in itself. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's something that someone would call a transgender in order to be disrespectful. Like, hey, Lord Fanny. I don't know. It just sounds weird as hell. But continue.
So Lord Fanny, I guess it was Vertigo made this, the company Vertigo, but it's an imprint of DC Comics.
Okay.
So Lord Fanny identifies as a transgender woman. Her first appearance was in a comics called The Invisibles #2. She was created by Grant Momsen. Her abilities are that she's magically adept, she has psychic powers, and she has something called the magic mirror.
Okay.
So originally, Lord Fanny was born a male, which made her grandmother really upset because her grandmother is a witch, right? And excuse me, the grandmother was really afraid that her lineage wasn't gonna continue or grow because in order to be a witch, you needed to be a woman.
Okay.
So her grandmother started raising Lord Fanny as a woman. Okay. Hence her being transgender.
Okay.
So it's very interesting, and then she goes off to what you say witch training or whatever, and she even becomes a prostitute and attempts suicide. It's a really intense story, which I really want to get into. But yeah, Lord Fanny, in case anybody wants to check that out. Another character from the DC universe, actually, that's bisexual is Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman. Catwoman's appearance of being bisexual comes out in her issue #39. And most people weren't really surprised about this because they had long suspicions that she was playing for both teams for a while. So this was more like of a confirmation versus a revelation. Her creator is Bill Finger, Bob Kane, and her abilities are that she's a trained gymnast and athletic, as well as many more other things.
Sexy.
But yeah, she's very pretty, yes.
No, sexy.
Yes, sexy.
Say sexy.
She's
good.
very sexy.
Thank you.
So Catwoman, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see Catwoman.
Yeah, of course.
And
I don't know why, but yeah.
I don't know why either, but yes, I can see that. I guess that she has a lot. I don't know how.
She has a lot of sex appeal.
I was gonna say that, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Why would that mean that you're bi? But you mentioned something to me before, babe, about how Catwoman was brought along because Batman was viewed as being.
No,
bisexual.
That was Batwoman, which is our next.
Batwoman,
which is our next one.
Sorry about that. Thanks for correcting me. So Batwoman is the next person. And she's actually lesbian. And her debut came out in a DVD called Batman Bad Blood. Of course, this is DC. She's a super heroine. She's also very wealthy because she inherited a whole bunch of money. And she's inspired by Batman to do the same things that Batman does, take his money to bring it in for a bigger cause and like help humanity. So she does the same. She's an heiress and she has a whole bunch of cash, so she wants to invest it the same way as Batman does. She was created by Edmund Hamilton, and she dated Batman in order to combat allegations of Batman being homosexual for a little while.
Yeah, so I guess back in the days when Batman had his sidekick, there were a lot of rumors of Batman having a gay relationship.
With Robin, right?
With Robin, yeah. And sort of Batwoman was created to stop that allegation of Batman being gay.
Right.
So, yeah. But then later on, they just said, you know what, this is stupid. That's just...
Right.
And then they brought her back, I think, from Earth 2, Batwoman. and she turned out to be lesbian.
Yeah.
One interesting thing about her that a lot of people don't know, but the Batwoman writers quit for restrictions on writing her into a lesbian marriage.
Right.
So there were a lot, I guess there were a lot of conflicts between the writers and the publishers, and the writers wanted to write her in a lesbian marriage,
Mhm.
but the publishers were saying no, and that led to a lot
It
of
was too risky at
frustration,
that time.
and some of them ended up leaving.
Right.
So yeah, that's really interesting. It's not too far off from the world that we grew up in and we knew. So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing.
Yeah, I really like Batwoman's character, and I really like this new Batwoman, the modern day Batwoman as well, even more actually, because she was reintroduced as lesbian. So the writers said that they did this to show a sense of diversity and to also show a modern day for the modern day readership, like because we know that our world, thank God or thank whoever, it's evolving, and more people are open minded to diversity and to everybody's just to, just like everybody can do whatever the hell they want, and a lot of people are realizing now that that's the way to go. We shouldn't, restrict people.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of silly at this point to think like that. So having this modern day Batwoman is really really fucking badass.
Yeah, that's
Her
awesome.
skills are awesome too. She's a highly skilled martial artist, and she's a highly skilled detective as well.
Well, that's interesting.
What?
Piggybacking off of that, was you recently playing a video game, Watch Dogs 2. If you haven't tried it out, it's a really fun game. It's not like the first one. The first one was too, I would say, serious, but this one is more fun. It has that hacker kind of feel to it, where they're like just millennials fucking shit up. And there's a character there by the name of Miranda Comey, who is transgender, and it was awesome. Like immediately when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool that they took that risk in introducing a character like that in this game, and I honestly applauded it for that. Another character that came out as being gay recently, Blizzard put out a statement confirming it, is a Tracer from Overwatch.
Yeah.
She is lesbian.
The game you're obsessed with.
Yeah, so she has, you know who it is, right? The one
with
that
the orange glasses.
Yeah, her. She's fucking badass. But yeah, she recently came out as being lesbian, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah. So basically, there's this thing out there of, I don't know which type of people are saying it, but they're saying that there's this gay agenda, that the media is working on some type of conspiracy to turn people gay or against their, I don't know, against whatever they were born feeling like
natural.
And I just want to debunk
Quote,
that for a quick minute. I don't believe that there is a gay agenda. I just feel like with more people being exposed to sort of gay and all type of sexualities, when they're being exposed to those type of different people, it begins to be normalized how it should be. It should be normalized because they're just different. They just think differently from you, but that doesn't make them necessarily evil people or whatnot. But I do believe that there is an attempt in the media to sort of put out more gay characters or transgender characters or lesbian characters, what may be it, to sort of tell us that, hey, it's okay. Like, you don't have to necessarily look away. Like, recently we was watching a movie,
right?
Moonlight.
Oh my God, yes.
And it's a story about a young kid basically growing up in the hood, and he's trying to find himself, and it's really interesting. Later on down the movie, it turns out that he realizes that he's a gay.
Spoiler. Oh. It's okay.
Spoiler alert. Anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to say a few words on that, on debunking the whole gay agenda that the media is forcing down our throats or whatever. It's kind of like, I don't want to compare the two, but it's kind of like when black people first started showing up in TV, and then a lot of white people back in the day started saying, "Oh, how come they're trying to cram basically black people down our throats? There's a lot of black entertainers or whatever," and it's like, no, they're just trying to, I guess, say that it's okay. But yeah, anyways, so next segment, what have you been doing this week?
This week I've been doing a few things. I started reading a graphic novel that I'm almost done with. It's called Embroideries. Sorry,
Okay.
by Margie Satrapi,
Okay.
who's one of my favorite authors. I'm still finishing. Well, first of all, the graphic novel is about Iranian women and their experiences from their love life, their sex life, and their experiences with their husbands and how they sometimes cheat on them. It's just really funny. It's just table talk, tea talk that these older women have, and it's something I'm really into reading. Um, I'm also finishing uh, Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. I'm like 40, like 30% done with it. It's a really long book. I also saw some, what are these things called on YouTube?
A walkthrough?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say for mine.
I watch a few walkthroughs with you.
The Resident Evil 7 walkthrough. What you think about the game?
I want to play it for some reason. I'm really a scaredy cat for scary movies, but for some reason I want to play that in VR.
That doesn't make any sense. It honestly doesn't make any sense to me. You wouldn't watch a scary movie, but you would be in a scary movie.
It's not really in it. It's fake.
I don't want to fucking play this shit on in VR. That shit looks terrifying. I feel like I will have nightmares.
Scary.
I'll probably have a panic attack.
Are you
big
serious?
as I am. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'll have a panic attack.
It's not that scary to me.
What? Imagine being in it. There are monsters in there. It's not just people. And these people are fucking immortal, too.
The grandma's the creepiest one.
Fuck that. I wouldn't hear this shit. Anyways. So,
what have you been doing?
That.
No walkthroughs.
Yeah. What else have I been doing? Oh, I've been picking back up on Voltron. Is the Netflix show.
Nice.
I've recently started watching One Piece. Shout out to Tony. Yeah, you got me into it. And that's pretty much it, I believe. Yep, that's it.
Sounds
Overwatch,
solid.
but
that's regular.
That's regular shit.
It's like a job for you and Jose, bro.
It is. We actually get paid doing this.
Like,
it's crazy. We don't get paid.
You guys are obsessed with that game.
Yes.
I don't see the fun. I don't see, like, I see you play and I don't get what's so fun about it.
I don't even know where to begin with that.
Because it's like a regular shooting game, right?
It's not a regular shooting
game.
Not
shooting.
And that's what makes it different.
Not shooting, but what makes it so good? Is it the teamwork that you have?
Exactly. Or? It's basically that. It's the teamwork that everyone plays. Basically, everyone plays a particular role. And depending on how well you play your role, determines how far the team gets.
Got it.
And that's fucking awesome. I like it's forcing you to work together. It's not just mindless shooting. It's like everyone has a role that they play. If I'm a healer, I'm gonna be looking around to heal the people who go out there and are doing the shooting.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so it's really different.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So I guess that's gonna wrap it up for our show this week. If you haven't already seen, we're trying to cut these down a little bit shorter, cause it's better to have shorter YouTube videos, and people's attention spans are not for listening to something long. Now, if this podcast was on a different platform, which we're trying to do as well as having on YouTube. But if it was on a different platform, then we'll be going for an hour. However long these discussions will last. Sometimes it could be random. I don't know. But, yeah, so why don't you tell them what our next week's topic is going to be?
It's going to be about aliens.
Aliens!
Bro.
They're here!
It's going to be about aliens. Yeah, one of Adam's favorite topics.
Yes.
So that should be fun.
I'm going to sound like a freaking conspiracy lunatic on this podcast, and I love it.
Thank you guys for listening today. We can't wait for next week for our next episode 7, right?
Yeah, episode 7.
Wow, awesome. Anyways, thanks again for listening, guys. We are
A Nation of Nerds.